Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hello, mothers and daughters. Have I got a good one for you today? This is going to be just some real good information. And the reason I say that is because I believe wholeheartedly in what I'm going to be talking about, as usual. When I'm talking about something, I believe wholeheartedly in it. And I'm going to talk to you today about the Mastermind Alliance. A lot of people are not aware that they can start a mastermind group. They can join a mastermind group, that they can learn about mastermind groups and why it's so important. If you have never heard this terminology again, then you may want to pick up Napoleon Hill's 17 Success Principles or his Think and Grow Rich book. One of the 13 secrets that Napoleon Hill discovered is called the Mastermind Alliance. He observed that successful people got together with each other, and successful people talked about their ideas, and they talked about different things that they could do, that they were doing, and then they would make them happen. You know, a good rule of thumb is that you cannot share all of your ideas with everyone. You know that, that's just a normal rule of thumb. You cannot do it. So what I love about in the 17 Success Principles and the Think and Grow Rich book is that when he talked about the Mastermind Alliance, he talked a lot about how you can do it either with people that are on the same wavelength mentally as you, going the same route as you, wanting to get there one by one or together, or simply if you're a husband and wife team, for you to mastermind with one another. Again, one of the 13 secrets that Napoleon Hill discovered was the Mastermind Alliance, and I believe wholeheartedly, and I'm going to tell you right now, it works. I'm going to tell you right now that it will change your life. I'm going to tell you, if you have not at least once in your life joined a mastermind group, and now it is not just for professionals, it's for anyone who wants to get things done, anyone who puts a goal on a list. If you're like me, you got lists. Anyone who puts a goal on a list and wants to figure out how they can reach that goal. If you have that idea, and then you have people that are putting their goals on a list as well, why not work together to become successful individuals and leave a legacy for those people that really, really, really want to see you succeed? Again, that is why you cannot tell all of your ideas to every single person. Because, okay, one, some people are not going to care. Two, some people are not going to understand. Could be a case where they don't care and they don't understand. Three, if a person is already a naysayer around you and a negative Nelly around you, they're probably not going to uplift you and give you the, go right ahead. I trust and I believe in you. That's not what you're going to get from that person. What you're typically going to get from that person is going to be pretty much what they give to everybody else, which is, oh, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if you can make that happen. We'll see if that's going to be, something for you. Everybody is not going to be there to really support you in what you're wanting to do. So you got to kind of almost get that out of your head, that every single person is going to be loving what you're doing, because that's just not the truth. That is not the way it's going to work. So I would say, if you know people And just listen to what people say. They'll tell you everything you need to know if you just listen to them. There'll be people that'll say, I've been looking for, people who, have my same thought process, and I really would like to have people to bounce things off of. So here's a reason why you should join a mastermind group, other than what I just said. You want people you can brainstorm with. There are people that have similar ideas to you, bigger ideas, smaller ideas, doesn't matter. None of us are going to do any of this alone. I don't know everything, but I know somebody who knows somebody that knows something. Something. You understand? Number two, you want the support. It takes two or more to get that support. So you need the support from someone that can bounce ideas off of, somebody that can say, well, instead of maybe thinking like of it like this, how about we flip it and think of it like that? I know I read a book years ago, and it was talking about how whatever you think, flip it, and you'll get a different perspective. I forgot the name of that book, but I'm sure it's right here on my bookshelf. I got it from the Wizard Academy in Austin, Texas. Founder is Roy H. Williams. The next thing, this is something I believe in wholeheartedly. The networking, you won't be able to beat that. There's always been this rule that says you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. I think Jim Rohn is the one who coined that. But the networking that you'll get and the people you'll meet, especially if you join into an already existing group that's just getting ready to start. I know once I've been in so many groups. I have one going right now. We meet every morning at 4 a.m. from 4 to 5 a.m. And it's just a 1 hour gathering, and we're all pretty much on the same level as far as been in our business for 20 something years, have raised our kids, doing our own thing and all of that. But one is in the UK, one is in San Antonio. I'm in the Houston area. The other one is in Florida, and the other lady is, I think, Jamaica or somewhere. Really awesome ladies, all ladies. I chose to only be a part of ladies. This is a group of a spinoff that I created on my own. And then one of the other ladies wants me to teach her how to run her own. So I'm in the meeting, kind of like helping her to facilitate her group. So it's been exciting teaching her. The last thing I'm going to say about Mastermind, and not the last thing for this lesson today, but as far as why you should join, you know what? When somebody has you accountable and holds you accountable, now you have no excuses. You have no excuse in the world to say coulda, woulda, shoulda, and all of that. Like Tony Robbins say, you fool around and should all over yourself about them coulda, woulda, shouldas. That's Tony Robbins. I love when he used to say that. So accountability, it breeds a responsibility. And Stephen Covey, I believe, coined that. So I'm not just giving you this idea from something that was made up. People that are very, very successful have realized that this works for them. Now, if you want to start your own mastermind group, first you want to find people who are committed to meeting consistently, and you can decide if you want to do 90 days. They got that crazy show 90 Day Fiance. Now, if you can meet somebody, fall in love. I don't even know if they be in love. I'm just saying, if you can meet somebody, marry them and all that in 90 days, you sure can do some successful things in 90 days. You could clean up a whole world of business things in 90 days. The next thing is you want to get on a regular schedule. For example, my group, we meet every single day. When I say every day, I'm talking 7 days. I'm not talking about Monday through Friday days. I'm talking about 7 days, 4 a.m. No matter where any of us are in the world, we get together. Now, there are times we take a break and we'll say, okay, so I've got all this different homework. We've been working up to this point. When we come back together in 2 weeks, everything is going to be done and we're all going to be on a different trajectory. So you can set it up however you want, but meet on a regular schedule to discuss your challenges, your ideas, and your goals. I'll say that again. Meet on a regular schedule so you can discuss your challenges, your ideas, and your goals. All right. What a better alliance than a mother-daughter alliance where you can build something together. Like, me and my daughter, Angie, we built this podcast to be able to speak to other women. And I think, it's just been such an exciting journey to be able to fulfill that. And tomorrow we make a year old. September 1st, we make a year old. So it's really awesome. And here we are with 200 and something videos up on, wow, on YouTube. It's been a exciting journey. I like to take notes and keep my own ideas. Like, you could be on a stage and you could talk for an hour, and I will have 50 pages of notes, but it won't be anything that you said. It was all the ideas that popped up into my head as you were talking about what you were talking about. That's how I take notes. I don't take notes verbatim. I take notes according to what my mind is telling me I should do about something. So when you do mastermind, make sure you keep track of your sessions. Make sure you keep track of your notes. It will increase accountability. I'm not telling you something I think. I'm not telling you something I read in a book. I'm telling you something I know. If you don't know the 17 success principles of Napoleon Hill, I go through the first few. One of them is lesson number 1 is definiteness of purpose. Number 2, here we go, the Mastermind Alliance. I'm only going to do those because that's what we're talking about today is Mastermind Alliance. All right, I'll give you another 2. Applied faith, that's number 3. Number 4, going the extra mile. Number 4 is the one that I taught the most when I traveled with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I taught the going the extra mile one the most. Again, there's 17 success principles, and if you have not weaved those into your business, then you are missing a little piece to the puzzle. And there's only 17 pieces to the puzzle. But if you put a puzzle together and you miss one piece, the puzzle still looks like it's, I would say, looks like it's snaggletooth. You can go right now on Amazon and you could get the audiobook for $99. You could record and take your notes at the same time. Or do like me. I still like to touch a book. I still like to sleep next to a book. I still like to use a book for reference. I still like to go and grab a book off of my shelf so that I can use it to, for talking points or for reference so that when I'm talking to people, they can understand me. I love being in a group of people and I'm talking about a specific thing and they're just like, yeah, I get what she's saying. Also, I do want you to know if you go on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of these different social medias and just type in the 17 success principles or the 17 principles of success, and then possibly type in Napoleon Hill, there are teachers that are teaching from their perspective these 17 principles. My advice is to read the book first and then attach yourself to other people who can teach you this. For example, I traveled and taught with the Napoleon Hill Foundation for more than 8 years, but I also had a little secret behind the scenes. I'm going to tell you my little secret. I got to go over here because I want to make sure I spell his name right. He's no longer with us, and I am so sad about that because we used to mastermind twice a week. We mastermind twice a week. He's from a whole nother state than me, but he would call me every time and he would say, okay, today this is the lesson that we're going to be learning. And his name was Rick Gettle. Okay. Rick Gettle was my mentor for years. He was about an 80-year-old man, maybe 75, 80. And I really appreciate him. He actually traveled with, I'm gonna look real quick while I'm talking to you. He actually traveled with Napoleon Hill back in the day when he was so young that it's unbelievable. He taught the success principles. So he might have been like almost 90 years old or something like that. But I know that the principles that I learned from him, I don't even compare it to anything else that I've done in life because that was kind of like my little, I like to call it my secret sauce. He was my secret sauce, Rick Gettle was. I'm going to look him up right quick. And we didn't announce it to the world. He almost treated me like I was like his student, um, friend slash student. He was a consultant. He wrote over 300 books. He was from Redwood City, California. Nicest man I ever knew that I never met. We had made plans to meet with one another, and we never did. Now, Rick Gettle was the founder and the president of the Mastermind Alliance and Success Clubs International. He had done it since 1970, and he used to give workshops. And believe it or not, this man was so nice that he really wanted somebody to talk to, somebody to mastermind with, somebody he could bounce ideas off of to, somebody he could tell his grievances to, secrets, that right now I'm forced to take to the grave because I could never share them. He didn't give me permission. So before he died, I didn't ask him for permission. And I love that he used to always say that he got his schooling from the University of Hard Knocks. I love it. So he was one of those people who was a part of the Science of Success Achievement courses. He listed number one on Google, out of what is it, 30,000 people. He's the co-founder of the Masterminds Alliance Success Clubs International since 1970. He registered that, so that was legal. He used to do 4 weekly 60-minute success exercises, workshops, and teleseminars. We always did ours on at the time back then we were using Skype. So he was my mentor, my personal mentor, from about 2011. I can't remember. I know it's for 3 or 4 years. Rick was also the author of the Science of Success Achievement course, Success Achievement. He was a consultant, a publisher, an author, a speaker, a trainer, a coach since 1970. Rick has been teaching over 6,400 different companies these principles, whether you know it or not. There are a lot of companies who use Think and Grow Rich as their base. You know how when you build a house, you have to have a sturdy foundation. A lot of companies use Think and Grow Rich as their foundation. For example, some insurance companies and real estate companies, when you come into the fold of their organization or company, you have to have read Think and Grow Rich, because that is the base principle. If you know your Bible, all 66 books, and I don't mean word for word, but I mean if you know the principles of each book in the Bible, there's 66 books in the Bible, you will realize that Think and Grow Rich is basically the foundation from the Bible. It's in different words and different terms, but it means the same thing. You can go from Genesis all the way to Revelation and you'll see it. I know this for a fact. I've already proven this to somebody who tried to question me on it. And I said, okay, if you got time, I literally did this with a guy. We did a whole mastermind group in 90 days, me and him, and I was showing him parallel Think and Grow Rich and the Bible. He paid me to do it because he said, I need to know this. I am a minister. And I didn't even know that. I had met him at a retreat that we did in, it was a Think and Grow Rich event in Indiana, French Lick, Indiana. And I had to just kind of show him because he was like, well, what makes you think? And I'm like, okay. But anyway, Rick Gettle did this work for over 53 years almost in the San Francisco area. And then another few years in some other Redwood, California, and just was really a successful man when it came to knowing these books. Let me tell you how lucky I am, and then I'll move on from Rick because it's makes me a little sad. I was so lucky that every single book that he ever wrote, I have a copy of it. He sent it to me after we were masterminding for about maybe about 30 to 60 days. And the one thing he said to me is, I'm going to make sure I send you a care package, and I want you to have everything that I have in my possession as far as my books. I want you to have a copy of it. And he said, the reason is because as I talk to you and I realize you know what you're talking about, and as I talk to you and I see that you actually are putting these principles into place, he said, I'm going to trust you with this information. And I was just like, okay. So what I did is he even had me reading the Sermon on the Mount, and he was showing me how some other books were parallel to. I was just like, everybody pretty much gets their information literally from the Bible, and all you do is they flip it. They flip it to fit the narrative of regular thinking folks. I'm gonna just say it like that. Regular thinking folks who can't understand how these principles are straight from the, because you got to think about it. There are people who are they don't believe in the Bible. I'll just put it like this. I'm not gonna say if they're Christian or not. That ain't up to me to say. But when you try to tell them anything about the Bible, they don't want to hear about it. But if you break it down and water it down and put it in a book, and you use other plain words and not the for, thou, I'll, with, and you don't do the Hebrew, then they might understand you. So I say, however you could feed it to the babies, feed it, whatever. If that's the way you're gonna get it, that's the way you're gonna get it, and there's not much we can do about that. But I know the very first book I read from Napoleon Hill was Think and Grow Rich, and then The Success Principles, and then I read maybe 10 of his other books. And I have every single book that Napoleon Hill has. I've gone down the list. I can prove it to you. I have every single book that he ever wrote. And I have even the Outwitting the Devil by some people that have, put the spin off on that. Greg wrote, I forgot Greg's last name, but he wrote 3 Feet from Gold. I have that book. So anything associated with Think and Grow Rich, I have a copy of it. See, I use that old principle of stick with who brought you. And I know by reading those books, that's what brought me into business the way I do business. And the reason I was able to do it for so long and am able to still have all the knowledge that I have to be able to do whatever it is that I need to do. But I'll tell you right now, the Mastermind Alliance is something that you want to bring into your business so that you can be successful with whatever you're trying to do. If you want to run and manage your house properly, Think and Grow Rich. Because guess what? If you're running and managing your home and you're married to someone who is what we call the breadwinner, then you want to be able to be there to support your man, your woman, whatever. So let's say one spouse stays home, take care of the house, manages that. And managing a house is, I'm going to tell you, it's something else. Managing a house is managing the bills, making sure things are done, setting up things, making sure, clothes are washed, dishes are clean. There's a clean, nice, enticing environment so that every day that person, man or woman, arrives home, that home is their sanctuary. Okay. Imagine if you two have created an alliance, a mastermind alliance, where these are the things that you agree that makes you happy, and those are the things you work toward. What a better person to mastermind alliance with than the person you say you love. A mastermind alliance consists of two or more minds. Okay. Two or more. Where he said it in the Bible, where two or more agree. I mean, I could prove it to you right now, but we don't have this kind of time. In the Mastermind Alliance section, part 2, in the Napoleon Hill book, it clearly says a mastermind alliance is where two or more minds agree. Listen, in the Bible, it says where two or more minds agree. It's the same language, they just put it in a different way for you. Also, through the Mastermind Alliance, you can definitely use your full strength of your imagination to share with people, because you're going to do this Mastermind Alliance with people you know and you trust, and people that you don't have to, you want to do this, but you don't have to necessarily sign a confidentiality agreement to think that they're not going to. I always do that because it's an extra accountability document to make me feel good. So I do that. The other thing is you can use more brains than your own. So that means that all these ideas that you may have, you run it across someone else and they may have more knowledge on how you can make that idea blossom sooner than you thought. And listen, I just told you a few minutes ago, no individual has ever achieved success without having help. I've had help. I've helped, so even if you have to, see, this is what I used to get upset about. People would hear Donald Trump say he's a self-made man. And then they find out that he got a little bit of funding from his father. Funding didn't make the idea. Funding helped the idea to propel forward. If you have a brand new car sitting in your yard, but it's on E and there's no gas in it, that's still the car that you bought all on your own. And even if I come along with a $200 gas card, that's still your car. I just helped you to be able to move it along by helping you to get gas in it. So when you hear someone say that they're a self-made person, all they're saying is that what they're doing was their idea. It was their mastermind that created it to, become materialized. Yes, they needed an architect to build something. Yes, Donald Trump needed his father's money to make it happen. Yes, he needed the design people to build the Trump Towers. Yes, he needed, but just like everybody else, look at Jeff Bezos. When he started Amazon, he started it in his garage with his wife. Okay. It was his brain and his idea, but without the masterminding with his wife, do you think he would have been able to do it the way it was done? I don't mean do it at all. I mean, do it the way it was done. His wife was there to make sure that the kids were raised, to make sure that, she was there to support him there in that garage, helping him with whatever he needed help with. Same thing Steve Jobs told you. If you watched the Steve Jobs movie, look at the guy that he brought into the fold to say, tell me what this podcast stuff is. Can we take that and use that here? What is an MP3? Can we use that through Apple? Creating all of the things that Steve Jobs created, he had other people that he masterminded with to make those things happen. Now, I know some of you are probably saying, yeah, but he also said he did LSD every day. Well, whatever it took to get done what he needed done, that's his business. That is his business. If he needed a drug to help to stimulate his creativity, a lot of people need a drug to help stimulate their creativity. For example, people who have ADHD or who are depressed, they take certain medications for their brain to function properly so that they can do the things they need to do on a daily living aspect. Okay, so let's not knock whatever somebody needs to help them get along and to get the things done that they need to get done. I just did a show about 4 shows ago telling folks they need to mind their business. And I wholeheartedly believe that whatever it takes for us to do what we need to do, if we're not harming anybody, now what? Also, you just can't beat the value of being able to meet with people and to share your ideas, especially when you get excited about something. I know I could be talking to somebody, and let's just say I'm talking about travel, and they're talking about travel. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I just was on a road trip in July, and one of the guys, our members, he brought his girlfriend along with him, and she had on a shirt. No, I take that back. I take it all the way back. I was at my class reunion a few weeks ago. I've been so many places in the last 90 days. I don't even remember where I'm at right now, what day it is, what time. I do know that our podcast is a year old tomorrow. So that I know on September 1. But anyway, I'm at my class reunion, my 30-year class reunion, and one of our classmates brought his girlfriend with him. And she had on a shirt that said Dublin, Ireland. So I said, oh, I love your shirt. Have you been? Because, sometimes people wear Harvard t-shirts, ain't never been to Harvard, ain't never even walked on the campus, and ain't even been online to see what the campus looked like. So I just happened to ask, we're in a conversation, girls talking. I said, oh, I love your shirt. Have you been to Ireland? She says, yes, I just came back. I was there for several weeks, me and my sister, blah, blah, blah. I said, awesome. I've been to Dublin as well. And then I started talking about all the other places in Ireland that I went to. And let me tell you, me and her, when I tell you, we hit it off, baby, we started talking about not just Ireland, but we were talking about the different cities in Ireland. I was asking her, did you go by the Heineken place and make your pint of beer? Because if you go by there, they'll let you do a pint of beer and then you get a certificate. She was like, oh my God, I missed that. And so, we really got to talk about Ireland. And I was telling her, I said, they used to make this movie, and I forgot the name of the movie. They used to make this movie in this part of Ireland. It starts with a B. And I was like, did you get to go there? She was like, no. And I watched that show on HBO. So we hit it off just talking about Ireland. And it was just so much fun to be able to talk about some things that we both related to her, because it was one of her travel spots that she went to, and then me, one of the travel spots I went to. We talked about, how it rains there every day, and that we hated that and that we hated that it rained there every day, and that we wish that it didn't rain. But I told her, I said, I was there for 2 weeks, and it literally rained every single day that I was there. And so, that was something that we were able to relate to. And I felt like she and I had created like this little bubble of mastermind and around talking about travel, because we didn't just talk about Ireland. We talked about some other things on our bucket list. We talked about some other places that she's traveled to. We talked about places that she wants to go in the near future. We talked about, why she loves traveling with her sister. And, we talked about, she said she'd love to travel and speak and be able to work from any corner of the earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, here's how you can do that. So we really hit it off, and we kind of like, it's like the bowling alley disappeared and a bubble came around us, and we just had an enjoyable time. We talked about her job, and, her wanting to find a different way to earn a living. And so it was just really, really fun. So, you have to look at anything that you're serious about. You're either going to sink or swim. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? If you're in a group and the goal is to reach the end result, then you're going to have to do whatever it takes in that group to reach that end result. Because remember, you're now accountable for everything that you say. If you say, okay, I'm going on a diet on Monday, I'm throwing all the bread and the snacks and the sweets and the sugar, I'm throwing everything out. Popsicles. Ooh, I got popsicles right now. Throwing out the popsicles, I'm throwing everything out. But then you call somebody on the phone and you're like, I sure wish I had some hot warm bread with some butter from the Madeline. Y'all could tell I must have just saw some hot warm bread. I did. I went to La Madeline to get me a little lemon tart, and this guy had picked up these two big, huge loaves of um, warm bread. And all I remember is the man saying to him, "Sir, watch how you hold the bread, because it's so hot, it's just seething through." And I'm going to tell you, I wanted to order some bread so bad, but that's not what I went in there. So I didn't do it. And it's not because I had told myself I wasn't going to do it or anything. I just was like, you know, this is not what I came in here for. You know what I'm saying? This is just not what I came in here for. So I didn't do it. But back to mastermind. And, here are a few steps to help you to create your mastermind. If you want to go ahead and start planning today. So I'll give you a second to get your pen and paper. If you want to record this and listen to it back, download this show, share it with your friends, share it with other people you want to mastermind with. I remember one time I wanted to start a book club, and I did. And my friend Inga, back in the day, she came, another girl came, Dahlia, and it was like 5 or 6 of us. And we used to meet different places. We met at my house one time. We met HEB signature store over off of Westheimer. They have a meeting room upstairs. We met there one time. We met at the Printing Press Museum one time. And we just would pick books, and we would go around, and I would say, okay, this is the book I want us all to read, and this is why. Then the other person would say, okay, when we're done with that one, we're going to go to this book, because we want to give everybody a chance to go ahead and get their books ordered. We weren't on Kindle and all that stuff when I was doing the book club. But if you want to start your mastermind alliance, all you got to do is start looking at who would be good to be in the fold of what your mastermind is. I will just tell you a little hint right now. If it's somebody that's in your circle right now that talks negative, that doubts everything, they dispute everything you have to say, they are not willing to say, oh, okay, well, that's a different perspective. Okay. Instead of saying, no, 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 that's not how it works. Like, now, I get it. If somebody says, well, I can just call over the phone and get my driver's license renewed, clearly we're going to tell you, you know what, that's not the way that works. But you can go online and do it. You can make an appointment, and they'll see you within 10 minutes of that appointment, but you can't call and do it over the phone. So I'm going to have to dispute you on that, because I'll also go on the computer and show you why that's not possible to do. But you may not like it, but at least I have something to back it up. If my opinion is that this sure does look cloudy. To the left, there's a gray cloud up there. And you say, well, it's actually not gray. It's kind of watery, pale, um, blue. It just looks gray from this distance, but it's really not gray. First of all, you don't know my eyes like that, so you can't tell me if I see gray that I don't see gray when I clearly could be seeing gray because my eyes are seeing gray today. I could be colorblind on today, or I could be colorblind on tomorrow. So don't tell me what color the clouds are, because whatever I see is what I see. If I say you got a pink shirt on and it's really red, my eyes saw pink. Okay. So again, in the beginning, I was telling you, first decide how big you want your mastermind to be. I don't like more than 6 to 7 people, 6 or 7. 7 meaning I'm number 7. I don't want more than 7 people in a group, because then we don't get to share ideas. Then we got to go from a 1 hour call to a 2 hour. And I've done 2 hour masterminds. Don't get it twisted. I've done 2 hour masterminds. I was in one group. We did a 3 hour mastermind every single evening. And if any of y'all listening know I'm not an evening girl, you know what a sacrifice it was. I like to be in the bed at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 7 p.m., whatever standard time I'm in whatever country or city, state, whatever. I like to be in the bed at 7. I didn't say I like to be asleep. I said I like to be in the bed. I want to wind down, cozy, get warm. If I want to watch TV, if I want to talk, whatever, I like to be in my bed at 7. Now, when my kids were younger, 6 o'clock was my sweet spot, because my kids were in bed by 7:30. So 6 o'clock, they already had a bath, they already had dinner, they were playing. It was time to kind of wind down and don't be so loud, and start making your way to the bed at 7. But I would kind of wind myself down by 6, because if I decided I wanted to get up after 8 when they were asleep, then I could get up and I could watch TV, or I could clean, or I could, fix the bookshelf, whatever I wanted to do for my own adult time, I could do, because the kids were asleep. So if I wanted to get up and look at a movie, or I remember when my two older kids, there were only 2 of them at that time. I have 4 now, but there were 2, a girl and a boy, Angie and Josh. And I remember when we lived in an apartment, they were not even in preschool yet. And when they would go to sleep, the first thing I would do is on Sunday night, I watch Sex in the City, then I watch Alias on ABC. That was my routine. I don't want no kids knocking on my door. Don't talk to me. I'm watching Sex in the City and I'm watching Alias. And those were my 2 shows. And so if the kids were up, then I wouldn't have been able to watch those shows, because it wasn't for children. Alias, you could get away with it, but even it wasn't for children, in my opinion. Create an intention and a goal. I was even coaching a young lady the other evening who wants to hire me to help her learn these success principles. And the first thing I said to her is, before I start the timer for our 1 hour discussion, I want us to set a goal and an intention. And then I said what the goal and the intention, and then I asked her if she agreed. And she said, yes, she agreed. And I said, okay, we'll move forward. So I kind of start everything off with that when I'm doing a coaching session, where I want your brain to do what it needs to do to get you where you need to go. I'm going to say this word, and I just have to have you to take it the way you want to take it. It's really up to you. Make sure you invite the right people to your meeting. When you send out your invitation, whether it's verbal, whether it's a invitation you created in a PowerPoint presentation, whether it's a simple email with the who, what, when, where, why, and how, invite the right people. My example of the right people are people that are not low vibration. So I want high vibration people. Okay. My idea of the right people are people who actually have goals that they're wanting to achieve, and they need, not want, they need a group of people that's willing to support them. For example, when we first started this podcast, I joined every podcast group I could think of to get the support. They weren't my personal mastermind group, but they were my mastermind alliance, meaning I could ask questions, meaning I could go and get support and things like that. So they weren't my private mastermind alliance, but they were a piece of the puzzle. Not every person on the puzzle is going to stay put. Some people are just there to give a better view. Okay. So invite the right people. And the right people is subjective because only you are going to know who you feel like is the right person. Not me. It's not my choice. You'll know who the right people are. If you are looking to invite strangers, then you could write a call for requests, meaning you could put a banner up, you could post it on multiple business groups, and you could see who's willing to come into the fold. Now, here's a question I get every single time I talk about mastermind, I get this same question. And the question is always, do I charge for the mastermind? The answer to that is not easy. The answer is if you think you should. The answer is, are you giving them a workbook to work from? See, I do charge for mine because I give a workbook. And the workbook not only comes with a workbook on how we're going to do things in the group, but then you get weekly worksheets of what we're working on. You get accountability worksheets to make sure that everybody has done whatever it is. Even if that thing is somebody says, I'm looking for 5 sponsors to come in and, pay to be a part of our group or whatever, our business entity. And they are going to cold call 5 sponsors to let them know who they are so they can get their sponsor packet to it. When we get on that call the next time, I want to know, were you able to get those people into your fold? Like, were you able to do that? And so that's what I need to know is if you want somebody to pay for your services, if you know what you're doing. I say if you've never masterminded before and you want to get your feet wet, I will give you 2 suggestions. Pay someone to help you run the group and help facilitate it and help you organize your first one until you get it, and then you branch out on your own. Or learn everything, because there's so many books on masterminding. There are so many books on mastermind. I have quite a few books on masterminding, and one of them is Mastermind Group. There's a mastermind group blueprint that you can get. And it doesn't mean that, people won't understand you. They will completely understand you. And then you can start with charging a nominal fee and then raise your fee from that. I find in business, that's the normal. You start out saying, okay, I'm going to do credit repair, and just to get my feet wet so I can get some clients and some testimonials under me, I'll start out at $300. Before you know it, and you've got 50 testimonials, your fee is now $700 because you've got some proven sauce over there where you can say, oh, well, go to my social media site and you'll see I've got, 50 clients that have given me testimonials on what I've been able to do for them. So, start out small and go from there. And as long as you start to see results, then you're on the right path. I've been a part of paid and free masterminds. I have found, and this is no dig on free, I have found that when I've been in free mastermind groups, people don't care about being held accountable for. They don't care if they show up on time. They don't care if they do their homework. They don't care if they're listening and taking notes. They will wait for you to send them the recording, and then they'll just coast off of the recording. You try to ask them, at the end of my mastermind group, I always say, okay, I know we've taken a lot of notes, but give me one, and they know I'm writing this down, so they're almost kind of scared to tell me, give me the one thing that you're going to do in your business to help you to get to your end result. And I will ask that question, and I always know the ones who are not taking notes, that are just there to observe and that are there to just kind of be a fly on the wall because it's free, and they got the time but not necessarily wanting to put the skin in the game, like the money. That's why I don't do free mastermind groups anymore. I don't join them and I don't produce them. It taught me better. And so, the old saying, when you know better, you do better. So my mastermind groups are paid, or if I join one, I'm going to pay. Okay. Set a start date and an end date. Remember I was saying earlier, you could do a 90-day, you could do a 6-month. You could even get people that'll commit for a year. I've been in the 1 year mastermind in the past. I've done that with a group of about 47 people. Met on Skype. So you know how long ago that was. But it wasn't one of those groups where every single person got something to say. It was more of a group where you could bounce ideas off of people, and then folks who had more knowledge than you would chime in on different perspectives for you, different ways that you can network, different ways you can meet people who, and they would connect you with people that, you know what, I know somebody who knows how to do that. Let me connect you with, you know, Bob or Susan or Nicole, or, you know, whoever can show you how to do this better. Let me connect you with Cynthia. She'll be able to tell you exactly how to do that. Oh, you want to start a podcast? I got a friend who's doing a podcast right now. She can walk you through it. It's not going to be free, but you can at least call and see, you know, what the deal is going to be for you. So set a start date and an end date. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody sends me something and they say, hey, this is what we're doing, but they don't give me a start date and they don't give me an end date, I'm pretty much out. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm out. Because you're not gonna get me involved, and then I get involved, and then I don't know when you're going to you know, stop this thing. And I'm just like, I need to know when this is happening. Okay. I need to know when it's going to start and when it's going to end, because I need to schedule the time on my calendar. It's not about I'm too busy. It's about, can I get it on my calendar? Okay. All right. So now that you got your start and end date, commit to a regular recurring frequency. For example, will we meet every Monday? We meet 7 days a week for the first month, and then from there we wing back to 5 days, and then 90 days out we go back to 3 days, and then 120 days out now we only need 2 days a week, and then when we get down to the end we only need 1 day a week. Schedule it. I always say, when you first start, meet more often than when you're at your 90-day peak. So commit to a regular schedule and recurring frequency, and get the time zones right. Let everybody know you're meeting at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time or Eastern Pacific, or either whatever time zone you are. So then they could take that, put it into their Google and say, okay, I'm in Canada. If she's meeting at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, that's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Time for me. Like, get it together so that no one is like, oh, I didn't know because I didn't have the time converted. Get your time converted. I'm going to tell y'all something. When I first started being on Skype, this was early 2000, and people were having meetings at certain time, I just took for granted that everybody was on my time zone, or that they converted it for me. And I missed a lot of meetings not knowing how to convert the time zone. Dumbest thing you probably ever heard in your life, but I'm telling you the truth. Simply because of time zones. By the time I figured it out, I was like, okay, I think I got this now. I think it was because I was on an event and somebody was late to the call, like an hour. And the guy said, if you can't figure, what did he tell him? He told him, if you can't figure out how to convert time zones, you don't even need to be on this call. Now, that was a little mean, but every call we had after that, that person was on time. So I guess sometimes you have to be a little mean to get it across. Decide on the technology and structure in advance. Will it be a telecall, recorded possibly? Will it be a Zoom call, StreamYard call, any of those modalities? Will it be a YouTube private connection that you don't publish, but that you can have the video? Will it be FaceTime? I don't know. Again, after you decide how many people you want in the group, then you can decide which piece of technology will work better for you. I like phone call, as in telecalls that we can record, get a free conference call number. And I like Zoom, where you can either show your face live or you can show your avatar or your logo, whatever, doesn't matter. You're there live. I was on a call once and it was 67 of us on the Zoom call, and about 13 people did not want to show their face. And he said, I'm going to go ahead and log y'all out until y'all can come back and show your face, because we need you here. We need you present. We need to see your face. And he literally logged them out, and they had to come back in with their face. And I was just like, It's his call. He can decide whatever he wants to do. But we were doing a connection networking event where we were connecting people with people who were all in the area of podcasting, helping one another to grow their shows. And it was just like, come on, guys, get ready. Put your best face forward. Look, anybody can throw their face together. Put on women, we can throw our face together, put on a wig, put on an undershirt and a blazer, and that's all you need. Nobody don't care what you got on from the waist down. Half of the time, I ain't gonna even say it. I know I look good from the waist up. That's all I can say. Don't worry about what's going on from the waist down because you don't even want to know. But that's just the way it is. Haven't you seen some of the videos where senators and different politicians are having meetings and then something happens and they have to stand up and they got a suit jacket on with a boxers? I saw one guy and I was like, well, we know he finna get a bunch of DMs. Oh, require attendance at a high level. In other words, with me, if you miss more than 2 meetings and we're on a 6-month or a 90-day goal setting, you're not allowed in. And you probably say, well, they have the number they can get in. No, every time you go on Zoom and you set up a call, there's a different number and a way to get in. Also, I had mine set up where I had to allow you in. If your name wasn't on the list, one as a paid, your bill is paid up, you've been attending, you haven't missed more than 2 days, you participate well, you haven't been banned from the group, then I let you in. If you haven't paid your fee, if you haven't been showing up, you ain't been here in 3 weeks, but today you had time. No, no. And it's already understood up front. There's no refunds. I'll send you over all the worksheets and everything. You can work it out yourself. But if you're not going to be accountable, this is one of the reasons that masterminds fail. When people don't show up repeatedly or they just keep missing meetings without feeling like they had to be there. Now, for this reason, you have to have some type of attendance policy. Think about any type of school, grade school or college. If you don't go to school and do your work, work is one thing, but if you don't show up, your teacher can get you taken out of that course. If you're in grade school and you miss days, 2 things can happen where I live. Your parents can end up in court with a fine. That kid can end up in juvenile for missing school if the parent doesn't have a hold on them. So in business and in success models, we have to also have an accountability method that says, if you miss, this is my policy, if you miss more than 2 meetings or attend fewer than 80% of the meetings, you're automatically out and there's no refund. If you're not that strict, then they won't feel accountable. Again, skin in the game. It may take a couple of rounds before you get your rhythm, but the leader of the group will know that from the conversation and the questions and how the group has started and how it's going along. What I mean by that is if somebody is saying, well, you guys gave me great ideas the last time. I work a 9-to-5 job and I just haven't had time to really put those principles in place. Then, the person that is facilitating the group may ask one of the people in the group if they would like to give additional support to you, whereby you guys can now get more time because we have a structured meeting, meaning outside of that meeting, we're all living our lives and doing whatever we do. If this does not work for you, then you may want to join a paid mastermind group yourself and just not try to facilitate one yourself. It is not for the faint at heart. It is not for people who don't keep track of their time and who are not really paying attention to what they need to be paying attention to. So you've got to get it together so that it works for you. You have to do what works for you, and everything that works for you is not going to work for everybody. Those are my tips on Mastermind Alliance. If you want further information, I'll put something in the description where you can reach out to me. You can always reach out to us on Instagram. We have a Linktree there where you can find so many things, our book, how to book us, if you want us to come and speak at a group of yours, if you want us to put something together where we can explain this step by step, I still do speaking engagements and I still travel doing it. So it doesn't matter where you're located. You can be taught this. We can do it on Zoom, doesn't matter. But make sure you join us over on Instagram at mother daughter ish _, because we do post there anywhere from 3 to 10 times a day. And it's mostly like information. It's mostly like uplifting things. It's mostly like making you aware of what's going on, especially with any type of women events or things like that. So definitely join us over there. If you are listening to this on YouTube right now, please subscribe. I'm asking you. Hit the little red button and subscribe. But I'm also asking you to hit the little bell so you'll know when we're going on, so that you can get all of our notifications on when our shows are going up. At some point, we're going to surprise you and we're going to go live. And you might not want to miss that, because it might not be one of those shows that we just throw up on YouTube. It might just be just for our listeners. And then that video will be taken down and we'll put it in park. It won't be public, it'll be private. We'll just park it just to see what type of great people that we can bring into that particular thing if we go live. But that's my show for today. And I hope that you've learned something about Mastermind Alliance. Start looking around your house and say, can I mastermind with my daughter? Can I mastermind with my son? Can I mastermind with my husband? Can I mastermind with my significant other? Can I mastermind with my cousin that I love so much? Can I mastermind with my friend? She's been my best friend for 20 years and we're both wanting to go to a different level. So we need to I'll bring in 2 more people. She can bring in 2 more people. Guess what? Now we got 6 people we can start. Start masterminding today. Build you an alliance and start today. I hope that my information on masterminding has been an eye opener for you. I do want you to know that people are doing this all around the world. This is not something that is brand new. This is not something that has not been being talked about for years and years and years. This is not a new concept. Okay? This has been happening forever. It's just that maybe no one taught you what your potential is, what type of success you can have, the way you can open up your creative visualization. Maybe no one taught you that masterminding is the way that other people do it. Maybe nobody told you that it could help to develop a great mindset. Maybe nobody told you that you can get wisdom from those who know people that have been there, done that, or they've done it themselves. Maybe no one told you that it can help to increase your brain power. Maybe nobody told you that. Well, I just told you. That's my show for today. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Mother Daughter Show.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?